Maniacs, it's time for another spooky video, a part of Vlogtober. And for tonight's spooky video, I'm going to be talking all about Okiku the haunted doll. Now, this is an urban legend or a doll from Japan, so it's all the more intriguing. I know that my subscribers seem to really enjoy the Japanese urban legends. I feel like I have made a video where I talked about this briefly before on my channel, but it was probably like an older video and it was really embarrassing, so we're gonna be talking about it again. In Japan, 1918, a young 17-year-old boy was exploring the area for a marine exhibit when he seen this doll in the window of the store, and it immediately caught his attention. He didn't even think twice about it. He just went in there and purchased the item for his 2-year-old little sister, Okiku, and he even spent the last part of his money on it. At 40 centimeters tall and wearing a traditional kimono, this doll was perfect. Her hair was a raven black shoulder-length cut in a traditional okappa hairstyle. Her eyes were piercing black coals that would swallow up everything in their gaze. The young man took this doll home and gave it to his little sister. She immediately fell in love with this doll, and it soon became her favorite toy and her best friend. Okiku played with this doll every day. She took it everywhere with her, fed it, slept with it. She treated it pretty much like it was her sister. Eventually, she even named this doll after herself. The doll never left her sight. A year later, in 1919, Okiku unfortunately passed away. Yellow fever had wreaked havoc on the land and ultimately robbed the family of the little girl. Okiku died, gasping for air, afraid and in pain. She held the doll in her arms. She was only 3 years old. The family wanted to bury the doll with the little girl, but because of circumstances and governmental issues, they unfortunately were not able to do so. The doll was never laid to rest with Okiku. The doll was instead placed upon the family's altar, where they would pray to it every day and night. This was a common thing in Japanese households as a way to honor the dead. The small shrine celebrated the life of their daughter and marked her passing into the afterlife. However, it wasn't long after placing this doll on the altar that the family began to experience weird and strange events centered around it. One day, the family noticed that the short, shoulder-length hair with neat ends was now longer, reaching down past her waist, and was a mangled mess of split ends and indifferent collars. Sounds like my hair. At night, the family began to start dreaming of Okiku, sometimes waking up to find the doll right by their bedside, and the events began to intensify. The lights would flicker on and off, bangs would be heard, as well as strange voices and noises in and around their home. And the creepiest part of all was that this would all occur in and around Okiku's birthday and the anniversary of her death. Over time, they grew certain of what was happening, and they ended up calling in some of the town's most known shamans and spiritual leaders, who concluded that the little girl's spirit was indeed trapped within the doll. The family grew accustomed to the doll and grew fond of their daughter's restless spirit. For them, this was a magical way of them speaking still to their daughter who had passed away. In 1938, they decided to move into a different town. They decided that they did not want to bring this doll with them, as they were afraid that her magic was fueled by being so close to their daughter's grave. So the family approached the local temple and asked them to take care of Okiku. The temple had heard countless stories of this amazing doll whose hair would grow every year. The priests accepted the charge and began taking care of Okiku. Over time, they were able to conclude that the doll's hair did indeed grow. Creepiest of all was that they even clipped off samples of her hair and sent it in for scientific analysis, where they concluded that the doll's hair was actually that of a small human child's. Like what? Like how does a doll have a human child's hair on it? That is so creepy. Like this isn't even made up either. Like this is a real thing. That's what's so creepy and like fascinating about the story to me. It's said that they still regularly trim Okiku's hair and that the doll is happy and content. As the years have passed, Okiku has said to grow more powerful. She is more well known now, and she is also said to invade the dreams of the priests who take care of her and also those who come to visit her. She is not particularly evil or wanting to cause harm like other dolls, however. It's more or less the restless spirit of the 3-year-old little girl who inhabits her. She is said to be much stronger now, and her hair grows faster and more wilder than ever. Okiku is now located in a private shrine inside of a wooden box in a town which I cannot pronounce. People that have came to visit Okiku have experienced giggling, subtle small movements, and welling sounds. Another thing that people seem to be really amused and fascinated by with this doll is that if you peer into her little mouth, you'll see childlike teeth coming through the gums. No one has been able to describe why the doll's hair grows or how to explain the events surrounding it. However, every year the people of Japan hold a ceremony there in memory of Okiku. So there was the story of Okiku, the haunted doll. What do you guys think of this doll? Honestly, she's got to be one of my favorites because just the fact that like none of this story was made up. All of this was true. It was scientifically proven that the doll's hair was a human child's. Like, how does that even work? That is the creepiest thing to me ever, but I also think it's kind of sweet, and I don't think that, like I said, she's trying to cause any harm or that she's evil or anything like that. I think it's just the little girl who inhabits her, who loved her so much back then. But let me know what you guys think of this story, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already and become Morbid Maniac. Be sure to hit that bell notification, that way you get notified every single time I upload a new video. And if you are not aware already, I now have an OnlyFans account where I will be posting all of my sexier content. So if you are interested in that, the link is always in the description box below, so you can go check that out. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.